It's unfortunate, but I've been screwed over many times and I've lost a lot of money. They are going to actually open the door for you at 9 o'clock, tell you everything that's wrong, and close the door for you at 5 o'clock when the business is done. At the end of the day, after 25 years, they're going to give you the keys, relinquish all ownership, and give you all the equity.
What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here with Kasey Wong, and I'm really excited for this video because you guys have been asking for it non-stop. We're going to talk about tenant selection. So Kasey, what's the magic to tenant selection?
Magic of tenant selection. Now, there's a lot of aspects in tenant selection. Remember I talked about overall, getting your business, and then there's a whole bunch of pillars of what to do. There could be like financing, looking for the deals, tenant selection to contractors, but tenant selection is crucial as well. So let's talk about that. We're right now actually just doing, we're trying to close on a deal in St. Catharines right now. We're not obviously doing tenant selection for this little property here, but let's talk about tenant selection. It's crucial. You're putting down 25%. 25% of the down payment, probably some working capital, 10%. And then your tenants, they're your business partners. If you think about it, think about this. This is your business partners. They're gonna pay off 75% of this property. So tenant selection is crucial. They are the people that's going to pay it off. And now how do you select these tenants? You can have people on assistance. Okay, we'll talk about that. With people that's working. What's their income? Are they working at Tim Hortons? Do you have a good, let's say a factory job, white collar, blue collar type of position? So let's talk about different aspects of tenant selection. Let's say if they're on assistance. We all had this. We call it here in Ontario Disability Support Program, ODSP. You have Ontario Works, which is welfare. I do select them. I vet them out. I don't quickly, hey, they're not part of my tenant pool, but you have to get a few things from them. And this is what I usually get, is that I get 2 co-signers. Okay, for each applicant. So let's say there's 2 people coming in, or 1 person. There's gonna be 2 co-signers per applicant or per tenant.
Oh, okay.
So this is what I do, is that these co-signers would have a job working for at least 5 years, earning at least $45,000 or more, just for the fact that they probably have debt themselves that they are responsible for, and now they're actually taking a lot more. Okay, so $45,000 or more, working for at least 5 years, and I vet that person out. I get their driver's license and their social insurance number for the co-signers, for these people on assistance. Okay. And
so, as far as like that $45,000 in income, are you asking for tax returns, or how are you?
Yeah. So what I'm verifying is letter of employment, pay stubs, 2 most recent pay stubs, and also a T4. Now, if they're self-employed and they want to be a co-signer, sorry, doesn't cut it. I can't go after that person because they're self-employed. Okay, it just makes it a lot more difficult. I want to see like a good job, stable job. You work at Toyota, you work at a different factory or this or that. Those are the people that I want. It's unfortunate, but I've been screwed over many times and I've lost a lot of money. So it doesn't happen with us anymore, where yeah, you're self-employed. You have to be a little bit more stringent. I do trust them, but they just need a co-signer as well. If they can't find 2 people to co-sign, it's a red flag, right? They have a good job. They make $90,000. They're a contractor or whatever, but they don't know anybody that has a full-time job or getting a T4, right? Red flag right there. So that's one aspect. Okay, so let's put that aside.
Well, I was just going to build upon that with one little thing. So a few of my buildings, we have a lot of tenants that are on Ontario Works or ODSP. And one thing I've noticed, similar to what you're saying, is if it's their worker that's doing all the work finding them an apartment, I often find that those people, they have difficulty integrating kind of like into normal life and into the building.
True.
And so that's just another little tip I wanted to share about.
That's right. Some of them will say, oh, well, I can do direct payment. So the workers will say, oh, I'll do direct payment. It'll come directly from the government to you. Tenants won't touch that money. Boom, red flag as well. They can stop at any time they want, okay? They move in, bap, it gets canceled. I don't know why, for whatever reason, it always gets canceled on me, okay? So again, think about what the consequences, what the problems are, what could happen, and you try to mitigate that. So you try to get all those co-signers. So that's one aspect of tenant selection. People that have a job, you want to be able to get people that have a job that has about 30 to 40% of their income going towards housing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you get people like 50% goes to housing, and they're fine. right? But it depends. So that's what you look at. You have a person with a good, stable job, 30 to 40%, working for at least 2 years. Okay, that's what I do. You guys can do whatever you want, but make sure that your tenant selection is to the T. So you're getting these good applicants, getting these good tenants coming in. So these tenants will have a good job, stable job for 2 years, and you call them. You call the employer, make that phone call your references. Anything that sort of is a red flag, like I asked for the SIN. You take a look at their SIN number on the application form, and then you say, hey, can I take a picture of your SIN? Send it to me. Number's off. Okay. Boom, red flag. Or, oh, you put it here, but I'm asking for the SIN again now. All right? Because on my forms, I usually ask 2 times. Sometimes, like I'll say, hey, here's an app. My superintendents or my people showing it, they'll say, hey, get your SIN. They write it down, and then I ask for it again. Because they don't have it, I'll say, hey, numbers are wrong. Because people don't remember, right? Yes. If they lied, people don't remember. So you take a look at that.
So any tips on when you're calling those references? How do you go about ensuring that, say, they use a reference that's their last landlord? How are you?
I don't really go, like I do, the better one to ask is ask the previous landlord, okay? And you can ask the current, but sometimes, I think I mentioned this other video, is that call them up pretending to be a tenant or somebody who's looking for an apartment. So you call them up and say, hey, I'm looking for an apartment. So you don't call saying, oh, I'm doing a reference check, and we say, hey, you have a 1-bedroom apartment coming due June 1st. So right off the bat, the person might say, oh, no, I don't. But now you know, oh, you guys are a friend. Okay, so they put a friend as a reference, as a landlord reference. So think about what, people will try to scam you. You gotta just be ahead of it. Calling the employers, crucial. You got to call them. And you call them during business hours, right? Supervisors, HR department, those are the people they all call. And you say, hey, does this person work? How is their future employment? How have they been doing? Are they past? They shouldn't be past their probation period. Should be past that 3 months. Like you're not looking for people that's been 3 or 4 or 5 months. You're looking for 2 years. Now they're stable. Here's another good tip for you guys. When I first started, is that go to the person who's going to be, like, they're coming in to sign the lease, and you say, hey, yo, dude, I'm going to go to your place and sign the lease now. Okay, you've probably heard that. Go to the place of residence now. Okay, so go to them, say, I'm going to sign the lease right now. Are you at home right now? Good. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Can we sign the lease right now? Now you're going to their place. You walk into their unit and you say, oh my goodness, there's lawn furniture and there's garbage bags full of laundry. I've seen actually one, there's dog everywhere. Dog poop, sorry. So there's dog poop everywhere. I'm like, no. It's like, you know what? I've changed my mind. And you never give the reason. It's like,
that's really important in Ontario. You never want to give a reason because it can only be used against you.
Exactly. So you just turn away and say, you know what? I just got a call. You can make it so obvious. I've changed my mind. Okay, something doesn't work out because I've got another, some person just signed right now with my other administrator. They just drop down the deposit and you just walk away because I've seen dog poop everywhere in this unit. So good, it's a sort of a good avenue to vet your tenants out. But those are crucial, okay, because they're your business partners. They are going to actually open the door for you at 9 o'clock. Okay, tell you everything that's wrong and close the door for you at 5 o'clock when the business is done and essentially pay off a mortgage for you. At the end of the day, after 25 years, they're gonna give you the keys, relinquish all ownership and give you all the equity. How nice is that? Right? If you really think about it. So tenant selection is crucial. That's a pillar that people have to work on. It is that people skill. You have to be face-to-face, talk to the people, go and meet them. Now it's so easy as agents, as property managers, that you can do DocuSign. Everything can be online. You don't even have to see the people, the person. But what I like to do is that I actually like to vet the tenants out myself. That's my high level, making sure that I know who is coming in. I just want to have that eye-to-eye contact and know who I'm getting in.
Yeah, and so one thing that we've talked about it in a previous video, but I think we should cover it in this one as well. New people to the channel will notice that Kasey didn't mention credit checks. So do you mind kind of sharing your opinion on that?
Credit checks is past, okay? So it's not the future performance or what you're going to be doing in the future if you're going to pay or not. You can have a Rogers bill, like in Ontario we have Rogers and we have Bell, and a lot of people are delinquent on that and they don't want to pay. So you have a lot of low credit score. So recently I went to the Canadian Federation of Apartment Association. This is about a couple weeks ago, and I spoke to somebody from Equifax. And Equifax is going to be going and checking tenants, or actually having a ongoing credit check for tenants. Just like us homeowners, we have mortgages. We get sort of dinged on that credit score, but tenants don't. But Equifax is at the forefront now. I met this person, I met this lady, and she was working for Equifax. So on the radar, Equifax is going to be doing that and just making it more sort of equitable for tenants as they were for homeowners. So that's at the forefront. I'm not sure how quick they're going to be on that, but I spoke to that representative, and she's one of the marketing executives, I believe, and she's working on that. So credit check, I don't do it just for the fact that your past history on your finances, on your credit, is not an indication of your future payment. I can have people that is good with great credit score, but they don't pay their rent. Or I can have somebody with terrible credit, and I have their driver's license, their social insurance number, everything. I have their bank information. I can, once I get judgment on the LTB, I can go to small claims and garnish the wages. They take that, because I actually say all that when I sign the lease with them. So they're sort of under the gun and saying, okay, well, this guy, Kasey's gonna, take me to court if I don't pay, regardless of their credit. So that's the reason why I don't do it. If you do it, it's just an extra, it's an added value for that tenant selection. So it's better, it's something that you could do, I just don't, but to each your own. You can do it, that's great.
Yeah. And so let's maybe talk through when tenants actually like move in. How are you kind of setting expectations? Obviously, when you're signing the lease, it sounds like you're really setting expectations by like, hey guys, I'm very up to date on the rules. I know my rights. I'm going to follow through on them. So like when people move into your property, do you have like any sort of onboarding process?
So I do. On the lease, we have an appendix. I can't really share it here on the video, but I go through each step and I have sort of a cost breakdown of what I charge people. So if you're going to be breaking a lock, doorknobs, screens, windows, I already have it listed out. So I have this on my last page, and I go through it individual with them. I go, hey, you break a doorknob, keys, screens. It's all market value. It's nothing exorbitant, but it's something that they should know before I charge them. I said, hey, are you comfortable with this? If they're not, you know what? This place, this apartment may not be for them.
Yeah, I love that. I think a lot of first-time landlords, when they're trying to select their first tenant, they're just worried about getting their rents right away. But I think experienced landlords come to realize that it's better to have 1 month of vacancy if you have to in order to get the right tenant, rather than have to go through like a 3 or 4 month eviction process.
Exactly. Completely agree. So you rather like spill the beans on them really quickly and say, hey, this is going to be the cost. This is going to be this is how I work. Costs, damages, things like that. So we're all on we're in the same playing field. But I'm very fair with the tenants as well. If there's anything that's wrong, or something that breaks, that needs like repairs and maintenance, I will get it done within, usually I say, if there's an emergency, somebody will be there within 20 minutes. If there's a plumbing or electrical issue, 20 minutes. If there's a non-emergency, it will be fixed within 2 to 5 business days. Let's say your kitchen doorknob fell off. Okay, you can't open that. You have to actually just, it takes a second longer just to open it. Within 5 business days, it'll get fixed. Anything, again, emergency, people will be there, and within 1 business day, it should get fixed. If it's somewhat like a medium-term risk, okay, or that needs to get fixed right away, within 1 business day, it should be fixed. So I'll get my contractors in there. Either it's a plumber, electrician, or a GC that will come and get it fixed. So I tell the tenants this: if there's any kind of like Vermin or Mickey and Minnie pays them a visit, I say, hey, do not buy anything. Do not get Raid or go to Home Depot or Canadian Tire. In Canada's Canadian Tire. Don't buy anything from that. I'll make sure that the pest control company is there. If you have to buy, let's say, even a battery or a smoke detector or anything like that, yours is not working in the middle of the night, okay, and you have a spare battery, I'll pay for it, okay? If you have to run out and buy it, I'll pay for it, and I'll pay you $20, okay, because of your trouble. So I'll pay that just to make sure that, you know what, you are safe, because you don't, on a Sunday afternoon, the hardware store is just around the corner, you can go and buy it instead of troubling my super. I'll buy it for you, or you buy it, and I'll pay you the $20 plus all the all your expense of the battery and the smoke detector.
Yeah,
so taking care of your tenants is crucial, and taking care of obviously the building is crucial. So that's one pillar. The tenant selection is something that you want to be mindful of. Okay.
Awesome. I think that was perfect for tenant selection. So if you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and we'll definitely have more videos coming up with Kasey in the future.